In the quiet hills of Virginia, silence covered a secret, a silence so heavy it smothered the cries of children. Beneath the modest farmhouse, behind Sunday smiles and well-tended fields, something monstrous waited. This is not folklore. This is not a campfire story. This is real. The Sullivan farm was very real, and when the truth was forced into daylight, it revealed one of the darkest chapters in America's past. 47 children, chained, starved, forgotten. Tonight you will hear their story, and once you do, you will never unhear it. It began with whispers. Neighbors claimed to hear strange noises after dusk. At first, people dismissed it, the wind, an animal in the woods, the creak of old barns. But some swore it was not wind, not beasts. They heard children, weeping, begging, pleading. The Sullivan family seemed respectable. Ezra and Constance Sullivan, churchgoers, farmers, polite faces in town. Respectability is often the strongest mask evil wears. The mask cracked when a traveler, William Hutchinson, stopped for the night near the Sullivan property. He swore he heard muffled cries beneath the soil, not once, not twice, all through the night. When lawmen came, lanterns in hand, the Sullivans smiled politely. They offered tea. They pretended nothing was wrong. But beneath the floorboards lay a basement. And when deputies pried open the door, a stench rolled upward. Damp earth, rot, and something unmistakably human. Lantern light cut the dark. Dozens of eyes glinted back. Children, 47 of them, thin, hollow-eyed, shackled to stone. Chains had carved their flesh. Some hid from the light as though sunlight was torture. Others reached out, too weak to make a sound. It was not chaos. It was order, a system, planned cruelty. And this was only the beginning. The local deputies froze. Hardened men, veterans of war, brought to silence by what they saw. This was no accident. It was architecture. The children told their stories, and their stories matched. They spoke of days spent in darkness, new captives starved until obedience was carved into their bones. Older children bribed with scraps to keep the younger silent. Punishments so cruel, even hope itself was beaten out of them. At the center of it all was Constance Sullivan. She told them their families had abandoned them. She told them they were unwanted, that no rescue would ever come. Some believed her. Some even resisted freedom, too broken to leave. And then came the ledgers, hidden in crates, marked with initials, names, ages, prices. Children weren't just kept, they were moved, sold, shipped. One name surfaced again and again: Henry Blackwood.
Among the survivors was Rebecca, 14 years old. She remembered the visitors. She remembered the man in the carriage, wealthy, finely dressed, inspecting children like livestock, checking their teeth, measuring their arms. His name was Henry Blackwood, a plantation owner from Charleston. When authorities raided his estate, the nightmare deepened. Blackwood's plantation had two faces, one seen by the public, cotton fields worked by enslaved labor, and one hidden, a place called the experimental quarters. Here, the children trafficked from Sullivan Farm became test subjects. They were infected with diseases, poisoned, cut open without anesthesia. Every scream, every death, carefully recorded. 37 children passed through Blackwood's hands. Only 4 survived long enough to be resold. The rest were buried in shallow, unmarked graves. And Blackwood was not alone. Doctors from Charleston Medical College, wealthy families, even politicians appeared in the ledgers. This was no isolated farm. It was a network, a market, a machine of cruelty disguised as commerce. The Sullivan basement was not the whole story. It was just the doorway into something far worse.
As the truth spread, resistance grew. Witnesses vanished. Survivors were hunted. Threats silenced some investigators. Constance Sullivan was found dead in her cell before trial. Suicide, they claimed. But she was the one who knew everything. Her death sealed the network's deepest secrets forever. Still, the evidence was overwhelming. Raids uncovered over 100 more children across the South. Ezra Sullivan was hanged in 1836, confessing his allegiance to the devil's path with his final breath. Henry Blackwood died in prison. Some said poison, others said justice. Laws changed. Child protection statutes appeared. Orphanages faced scrutiny. For the first time, the federal government recognized trafficking for what it was. But justice was not complete. Many powerful men escaped, their names erased, their wealth untouched. The Sullivan farmhouse was demolished, the basement sealed with stone. A cemetery marks the land now, where nameless children rest. Rebecca survived. She married, raised a family, but she never again spoke of the shadows. And still, in Virginia's hills, locals whisper. On mist-heavy nights, they claim you can hear faint cries drifting through the fields. Echoes, perhaps, or something that never left. The Sullivan case proves one thing. Evil rarely shows its face. More often, it smiles politely. It wears respectability. It hides in plain sight. And the children who vanished into that darkness, their echoes will never be silent.
The story of the Sullivan farm reminds us that true horror doesn't hide in shadows. It hides in plain sight. Behind smiling faces, polite voices, and locked doors, evil thrives where no one dares to look. And if history has taught us anything, it's that some secrets are never fully buried. They simply wait for someone curious enough to uncover them. If this tale sent a chill down your spine, then you belong here with us in the evil of echoes. Subscribe, turn on the bell, and never wander too far, because the next story may already be closer than you think. Until then, sleep lightly. The echoes never really fade.